It's the Nice Guys podcast, and we have an amazing episode in store for you today. A very unique one that we've been wanting to do for some time now, one that is hopefully going to personally help you in your life. Noah, do I go ahead and reveal it? It'd probably be in the episode title and all that. Do I
Just go ahead for it.
gonna
Just
go
go
for it?
right ahead. Yeah.
Today, we are unveiling the Nice Guys Betting Bible, the 10 commandments, so to speak, of betting, sports betting, as according to the Nice Guys podcast. We have put in tireless, really, if you think about it, years of working on this. Not directly, but,
Indirectly working on what we really think is what helps us the most when it comes to betting.
right. Yeah, through trial and error, we've lost a lot of money. We've had some bad days, some very bad weekends, some very bad weeknights. I mean, Noah,
I've never lost money technically on sports.
Baylor at Kansas State on a Thursday night that one time with the free throws. Doesn't matter what day of week it is.
Yeah.
We've been steadily learning from our mistakes over all these years, and now we would like to officially share this wisdom with you and put it in one place and share it with you. It's sort of sprinkled throughout all of our episodes, Noah, but now it's like
In a concrete place that everybody can go find it whenever they need to.
exactly, yeah. And we're gonna post it. Maybe, I don't know. Do we want to go so far as to do like a PDF or something? Probably not.
Oh, we got the Instagram post. I think there's also going to be later at a different date. I think I'm actually going to do, especially next year, I'm going to do even a draft guide for fantasy football. I'm going to do a couple draft guides. I'm going to do a couple PDFs. We can work on it together because I honestly think we have a couple good systems because we think about all the intangibles when it comes to sports rather than it just being what other people say. You know, there's hearsay
and there's their say. And the we say.
And the we say is our say.
Right. Our say is the we say, and our say trumps all.
Okay, exactly. That's exactly it. Okay, and before we start all this, I know people are going to be like, Noah, your credibility. 0-6 the past 2 weeks on the pick'ems, the Nice Guys pick'ems. To be fair, I will say, you pick all the good ones before I can pick them. You send them to me, and then I'm like, shit, I gotta think of a different game.
You're blaming me.
I might be blaming you.
That's very funny to me because never once did I say that you couldn't agree with and put down one of my bets.
No, I'm just playing. I'm just goofing. Sitting over here just goofing. No, but seriously, I mean, I did put my bets in the best position to win. Like, even then, like, I wasn't that far off on any of the ones that I like. There's 2 of them that I fucking lost. But there's a couple that I was really close on that I think most people would have taken. And like we always say, you can only put people in the best position to win the bets. Like, we can't guarantee a win. That's kind of how sports betting works. You can't guarantee a win.
Absolutely.
You can put people in the best positions to win, and that's kind of what we try to do here.
It's a lot like football in general. I mean, it's like
it's all sports, really. I mean, you can't even I can't even I can tell you who's going to win what, but like I can never guarantee something because there's a thing called the sports gods, and they control how sports work.
What we are here to do is simply put you in the best position to win money because trust me, I've talked to a lot of people in the past about sports betting. There's a lot of motherfuckers just straight up losing all their money out there for no fucking reason.
And if you listen to me, I've never lost money technically.
Right.
I've never lost any money. I've been positive my whole sports betting life. I've never lost a single penny. I still have money in my FanDuel account, and I haven't used FanDuel in years. But even DraftKings, being able to take 20 to, what was 1,000 at one point, I lost it to 600. But I've never technically gone under what I put in. I've never had to put in more because I lost it all. You got to bet smart. You got to know your unit plays. We'll get to all of that. But what I will say is when it comes to 5-unit plays, we are your guys. Our Nice Guys podcast, Bet of the Week, is now 3-1. We haven't had a podcast for 2 weeks, so we've missed the last 2 weeks with you on it. We had one with me, a solo ep. But 3-1. Cardinals at it again, baby.
Yeah, they finally hit. What did we say? That if red is hitting every time, you put your money on black, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have to. This is the exact thing with the Cardinals. Oh, I'll definitely get to them later, too. I have if you guys keep listening, I'll definitely give you more info on that. But Cardinals is one of those teams where it's impossible to bet against. You don't bet against electric players. You can't do that. You can't bet against guys like Kyler Murray. And then you can also guarantee almost a bet will hit at least more than 50% of the time, which is what you're trying to do with sports betting. You can almost guarantee that it will always hit 50% of the time. So, we got to take it.
And this year, I mean, it's their lines look juicy every single week. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, every single week, it really does look like the Cardinals are going to cover that spread, even after their setbacks.
Yeah, no, they did have a couple setbacks, but every game that they've played besides one, I'm pretty sure, they haven't covered the spread. So they didn't cover the spread versus whatever loss they had. It was the Lions. Yeah, they didn't beat the Lions, which sucked. But they had 2 games where they were projected to lose. They won, and they had another game where they were projected to win, and it was the last game versus the Jets, and they blew them out of the water. So, I mean, they're a good team, something we got to look out for. But I just wanted to call that to attention before we get going. I did not lose credibility. We're right here at the Nice Guys podcast. You just have to give us the chance to be right. We're right when we're right. Okay.
Overall, I mean, 3-1, the bet of the week overall is.
Yeah. I mean, our picks are these bets of our bets of the week. Our personal ones are 1-unit plays, and sometimes they are 2-unit plays. These 1-unit plays, you're playing nothing of your account. Right. But our bet of the week is something we both agree on. If it takes both of us, 2 opposite-ended people, to agree on something like that, I mean, that's exactly what you're looking for whenever it comes to that bet.
It's a lock. Did you want to get into our bets of the week this week?
Let's do that last, because I want to kind of want to draw some of these bets from our commandments into our bets of the week, so I can kind of give people an idea of what I'm talking about whenever these are our commandments. These are the Nice Guys commandments. So what we're going to do today, I'm just going to give you some of these commandments. We're going to talk about them and some of the experiences we've learned from these, I guess, ideas. So right here, right now, we are starting the Bet Bible. Commandment number 1 is one of my favorite commandments out of all of them. And something that I've learned, especially through these past couple weeks, is thou shalt not get discouraged when losing bets.
Absolutely. But also don't fall into the trap of disobeying commandment number 10, which we'll get to.
Or commandment number 3.
Yeah. What we mean is not keep doing stupid shit.
Yeah, don't do stupid shit, but
It's a game plan.
like if you're betting the Cardinals every week, like if that's your game plan, I mean, don't get discouraged when they lose games. Like they're going to obviously lose games. They're not going to go undefeated, but you have to know that they're also going to go above 500 this season.
Right.
They're a 10-6 team. They're a 9-17. You know, they're like one of those teams that will win you those important games. But yeah, they're going to lose some. They're not going undefeated, and no team goes undefeated, and that means you're never going to obviously win. When you're betting these massive parlays, you have to take that into consideration.
Right.
Like most likely, you're not going to win those. That's why you cut them short to make sure you win those easy dubs. And when you lose those 10-team parlays, yeah, you're getting discouraged, but you should never be betting them in general.
In general, yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, like people, the sports betting sites that do these like tweets where they're like, "Oh my God, this person bet $10,000 on a 12-team parlay and missed by one hit." They should have never done that in the first place. They have money to piss away. That's kind of fucked up. That they're just getting people more involved in the betting. You don't go on sites like that to make you feel like bad about yourself. Like when it comes to betting, fuck that shit.
Right. I'm woke to this because I think that's Vegas doing sort of like a deep fake type thing. I think Vegas is funding those posts. I think they let it happen so that people do that shit all the time because it does not hit as much as it does as it would look on social media.
Yeah, no, it's kind of fucked. But like, yeah, just don't like we said, don't get discouraged when it comes to sports betting. Don't be a dumbass, but don't get discouraged.
Right. So
you want me to keep going?
Keep going.
All right. Commandment number 2, we're going to go with, thou shalt know your 5-unit plays. And this is one that I've especially learned in 2020 itself when it comes to either college basketball or college football or pro football. There's 3 major types of plays that you play: 1 unit, 2 unit, 5 unit, or you can say 3. You can say 3-unit plays. We like those 2. They're a little bit heavier sided than 2s, but so 1 unit, you know, you're betting like about like 0.1 to 10%. I don't know how some people do it differently depending on how much money you have in your account, but they're the bets that you're less cautious with and the ones you throw the least money at. And then whenever you go to 2s and 3s, you're kind of hitting your, you know, middle range bets. Like if you have, like, let's say you have $50 in your account, you're throwing $3, $4 down on this bet. And then when it comes to 5-unit plays, if you were to have $100 in your account, you could be throwing anywhere from, you know, $8 to $12, $15 at this bet because it's basically going to hit. This is when we're talking about this, our bet of the week. This is exactly the type of shit that qualifies in. Like, we're not going to give you that shitty ass bet. This is the shit you need to take, and that's just how the cookie crumbles, baby.
This to me, this 5-unit plays to me are the gut feeling bets that we talked about, I think 2 weeks ago on the podcast. The ones that you look at and you're just like, what? No shit.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to think about it. If you have to think about it. If you have to think about it, it's not a 5-unit play.
Exactly.
Right. So trust your gut.
There's so many. Like if you so obviously like there's ones that you're gonna win, like no brainer. Like if the Seahawks play the Jets and you were like, oh, bet the money line. Like, no shit, motherfucker. Like, yeah, you bet the money line, but like that's not gonna win you any money. Like realistically. The 5-unit play.
We're talking about spreads here.
We're talking spreads and close money lines.
Close money line. Right. We need to
make that distinction. So this is also another thing. Don't be met the money lines if the odds are like plus 320. You know, like fuck that shit. Like you're not gonna win any money on that. We're sticking around that 100 range on the positive to negative side. And the things that win you the money that at least gets you your shit back or close to it, or 90% of it, 95% of it. That's kind of like what 110 is about 90% back.
I just remembered an example from an earlier episode.
Let me get it.
Chiefs plus 180 against the Ravens.
Exactly. Like that's like who doesn't take that? That's a 5-unit. That is a 5-unit play. That's a slap in the ass. And like you're taking that shit all the way to the bank because you're not going to lose that fucking bet like ever.
Right.
And we called that shit too. So listen to us whenever we call shit like that. Like that's the type of shit that wins you money.
Right.
And if you were to put it in a parlay, that week I'm pretty sure had a couple like decent ones too, like two or three games. I don't have the schedule up right now, but it had a couple good games. So if there's a couple big bets like that you see that are like kind of close to the 100 range, throw it in the parlay. 3 games, 4 games, nothing more, nothing less. Like throw it in there.
I'm getting ahead.
Yeah, facts. All right. Commandment 3, my personal favorite, probably one of yours too, and kind of goes into Commandment 1 a little bit.
So also number 1?
It's number 1, number 10.
Are probably your favorites.
This is 100% my favorite.
Okay. All right.
All right, you ready?
Times you say that.
Thou shalt know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run.
I'll drink to that one, brother.
You better count your money when you're sitting at the table. All right. Yeah, it ends at know when to run. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of self-explanatory. Know when to run. Know when to get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You don't need to bet.
Right. Yeah, you need to choose wisely, to me, and not just throw everything around. You don't have to bet. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You got to choose your battles. Pick your battles wisely.
There's lots of games on the slate every week. There's tons. You need to know that right level of when to run away from the bet. It's when you start second guessing like a little bit too much in your head, and you know that you need to get out of there.
It's also kind of funny that like I just think it's crazy that we even have to like explain this to some people. Some people actually have no fucking idea. Like they almost treat it as a video game, and that's what I was doing for a while. And that's when you lose, is whenever there's a period where you're either having fun and doing it, and then you're having too much fun, and like money becomes like video game currency.
Right.
Like, I don't know if you're familiar with like 2K at all, but it's like VC and 2K. It's like you're over there playing with VC, buying clothes and shit, and you're like, holy shit, this is actually real money that I'm spending on this. like kids are in Fortnite, they're like, oh my god, I gotta get this skin. Motherfucker, what does that skin matter in the grand scheme of like the game? Like you're not paying to win.
Right.
So exactly. It's kind of just like goes into the same thing.
Right. And that's why I like doing what we do in terms of giving our bets of the week, giving 3 and then a 4th that we both agree on. Mm-hmm. Because these are the only games. A lot of times, those are the only 3 spreads that I like.
And even then, there's some that I fucking hate. Like literally, right. I hate all of them except for like 2, 3, maybe 4, and then that confirmed one. There's like a confirmed one every week, maybe. Like even that's pushing it. Like in college basketball, you have like 2 confirmed ones a week.
To me, college basketball was easier than the NFL. The NFL, there's not too many games, but
True. NBA is impossible because
I don't think I've ever bet on the NBA.
it's impossible. I haven't won.
I think I did Moneyline Sixers one time because you told me to or something. But, anyways, yeah, Kenny Rogers, right?
Yeah, I think. I just know that song like pretty well. All right, so we're gonna go with Yeah, facts. All right, commandment number 4: Thou shalt not bet every single game, especially in a fucking parlay.
10+ leg parlay.
10+ leg parlay. Just is more specifically. Yeah, I mean that's what I mean when I'm saying every game, like 10+, 11,
Okay.
12.
Yeah. This one is very, very, very good to me. This isn't my favorite, but this is very high on the list for me because I feel like I'm always telling people this, and nobody listens to me. You know this.
Exactly.
So those numbers, when you're on the DraftKings account, when you're on or whatever you use, FanDuel or whatever, and you're putting all these games in and you've got your little $5 in there, your little $10 in there, and you're like, ooh, if I just add another game, I can turn $10 into $500. Guess what? That's how they make money off of you.
That's literally how they make money off of you.
It's not gonna. The odds are plus 800, 1200. It's not gonna happen.
Think about this. Look at me. Look at me in the eyes. I know you're watching on YouTube. That's where we get you. You're watching on YouTube. Think of how Vegas exists. Vegas exists only for one reason, and it's to make money off of you. Vegas doesn't exist to not make money.
It's not
There's a reason fucking Vegas exists. There's a reason Vegas 99.99999 reason Vegas always wins. Vegas almost always wins unless you're like me and take advantage of your free bets. It's the only time Vegas loses.
Well,
but even then, they usually win.
Well, but what I'm trying to say is, this is how they win, off of people like this that bet 10+ leg parlays every week.
Nick, if you're watching, this is especially directed towards you. Nick's first real weekend betting in professional sports decides to bet every fucking game. He lost basically every bet. So, you'll win one. Congratulations.
Even if you money line it, you're not going to pick 10 NFL games. That's the gambling equivalent of just, you might as well go buy scratch-off cards.
You know what's funny? There's a reason they do pick'ems online. You know the one game that they do? It's like win whatever. It's like a couple $100,000 if you pick one game right every week in the NFL. If you pick one game right every week in the NFL, you get whatever $100,000 they get. One game a week. There's a reason they do that. It's because you're not going to fucking get it right. If it was that easy, they wouldn't fucking do that promotion. You wouldn't have to pay to get in that. That's exactly why they do it. It's because you're not going to fucking win. So that's a star beside that one. That one's like a must know.
Right. Well, I forget if you. What was I going to say? I forget if you put this in a later one, but the limit on how many teams you should bet in a parlay.
Yeah, I kind of hint at that a little bit.
At most you should be doing 5.
Yeah. That's where that's kind of into a couple ones, like don't be a dumbass and like this, like you have to know when to like bet the right amount of things. Like, yeah, if you want to like be brave and bold and bet 10 cents on a 12 team parlay to win whatever the fuck you want, yeah, do it, whatever, like go fuck yourself. But like the chances of you winning are 0, and if you do win, congratulations, like you're one of the very few to win. So that's kind of how that rolls. So we're going to go into commandment number 5, and this kind of is the least important one, but it's one that everybody should know, and it's thou shalt understand betting. Each sport is different. Each sport betting is different, and betting each level of the sport is different.
Big time.
When it comes to college versus pro, you have a totally different type of collusion. There's 2 different types of collusion.
Preach. Yeah. So different. So fucking different. Betting college football, I was trying to think of this. I don't know how to explain this, but you and I talk a lot about, I personally don't like betting any double-digit spread in the NFL.
Yeah.
Even like 7 or 8 or anything above a touchdown is very risky to me. 8+ in the NFL.
Because they're all good.
Right, is where I start. That's where I start to back away.
Mm-hmm.
In college, I've bet motherfuckers minus 31. I've bet first week Alabama games at like minus 35.
If it got up to 40, I wouldn't be crazy. I wouldn't be like, oh, like, shit.
Yeah, right. Like if I don't. Does that sum it up well? I don't know.
Yeah. It's just like it's also like a totally different type of game. When you get to that later season games, I mean, you have teams like, Oklahoma versus, I'm going to do it. If you have Oklahoma versus West Virginia, you might get a lot of favorable calls towards Oklahoma if both teams have similar records and Oklahoma has to win that game. I mean, that's called, Big 12 referees and collusion. I mean, there's a high level of that when it comes to college football, in my opinion. And it's very indirect. A lot of people don't notice it, but Vegas totally pulls those games and changes the outcomes of it. And that's just how the cookie crumbles again.
That's
always how it's bullshit. It's different than NFL where every game is fixed. Like it's like one game a year is fixed for each team. Unless you're Alabama, every game's fixed for you.
Well, I'm not gonna get too much into this collusion business, but it's certainly different. I'm thinking more in terms of the margin of victory in college versus.
There's a lot of what I'm saying. I think this one, it takes in all the aspects of it. There's more than one bit of this, and this also goes into golf or tennis. Like betting golf and tennis is totally different. It's you're like, oh, it's a solo sport. Let's bet on one guy. No, it's totally different. Like it's tennis has those rounds and shit, and golf has you're just constantly playing against yourself. So it's like you're betting on the success of one person.
Betting on soccer, a lot of times they juice the lines on the tie, but don't bet the tie. That's hard to hit.
But it's also the thing is with betting soccer, you're betting 3 outcomes instead of 2. Like American sports, you have 2 outcomes. So you have a 50-50 chance. You're going from 2 to 3.
Well, yeah, no shit, but you don't bet the tie in soccer. Don't go down this road.
I do.
You can't even predict that.
You can't. That's exactly why soccer's impossible.
Okay. But, again, this just goes back to the main
point.
I'm
not that bad at betting soccer, to be fair.
Keep that in mind. Right.
Yeah.
Hard to predict. It's hard to predict.
Yeah, true. So 5, keep it in mind. 6, thou shalt use thy free bet on a 3 to 5 leg parlay, betting 3 to 5 unit plays.
Okay. I knew I saw the 3 to 5 somewhere. I forgot where it was. This is where we're talking about not the free bets, but also in general, 3 to 5, 3 to 5 games, 3 to 5 unit plays in the parlay. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, you said it.
Okay.
You said it.
All right.
We want to use, in this situation, we take advantage of the free bet, and even then, you don't need to throw it on a parlay. Throw it on a straight up that wins you money back. You take advantage of the free bets. It's free money when it comes to shit like that. We always take advantage of free money. It's we're betting on Vegas's dollar. That's what we're doing, and that's when we can really take advantage of Vegas. Like in the Super Bowl, I had I had a 2-leg parlay with Pat Mahomes doing whatever the fuck he did, and then something over. It was kind of like a 4-leg parlay, but because 4 different outcomes have to happen. But I made $150 on it.
Right.
You gotta take advantage of those free bets. That's exactly what we like to do in those types of situations. That's my biggest margin of bet, 0 to 150. That's
right. Like it could be. I feel like maybe what we're trying to say here, correct me if I'm wrong, is you're given free money. You might look at it as fuck it money, just put it on something. But actually, the free bets are the most coveted bets in sports betting.
It's like gold.
It's free. You have to take it. That's the only way you get up. You taught me this.
Yeah. And a lot of sports betting sites are doing promotions where they're basically giving you money. Like the college basketball game, it was like Illinois versus whoever the fuck, some other fucking Big Ten team or something like that.
It was Indiana.
And it was over 51 total points in the game.
Right.
So that means both teams have to score 30 points, and you win the game, and you win the bet.
26.
It was whatever fuck it was. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it was. I'm not good at math, Christian. Shut the fuck up.
Drunk math with Noah.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, when it comes to shit like that, you take the free money. They put a limit on it where it's like $50, but put $50 in the account right there, and then boom, profit.
Chiefs earlier in the year, first game of the year, they were plus. They were 101 point underdogs.
Yep.
Free money.
It's free money. They do that on purpose to get more people on the app.
But okay, those are examples of like the game promotions, but also if you bet enough, receive free bets.
Yeah,
and that's what we're talking about.
And it's just like it's a full circle. You just got to keep doing it, and that's just
right.
You take advantage of the free bets, and that always has to be on your mind. You don't go take a free bet and then bet, on a 10-team parlay. Like I've done that before. It doesn't do you any good because then you're just throwing free money down the drain. This is money that you don't have that you could have.
Right.
That's how that works. Moving on to number 7, thou shalt only be swayed in their decisions to bet on certain outcomes by obscure Reddit statistics.
Yep. Yes. Best example of this. What?
Every time I've ever been swayed, you a couple episodes ago, swaying me on like I forget what it was, but like it was like it was whoever was traveling west to east. It was somebody playing the Bills, the 49ers.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No, the Rams were playing the Bills, and you gave me the statistic that Sean McVay was 5-0, 1 p.m. starts on the East Coast or something like that. But I, filling in, I guess, here for obscure Reddit guy that you see, brought up, well, how good is he back-to-back on the East Coast? Change the bet, Bills covered.
And it did end up happening.
And that's what we're talking about here. Our sports betting, our NFL, our CFB, like any of the subreddits, people love to throw these out. Typically, they hit. I'm not going to lie.
They do typically hit. Like you can't be wrong. You can't when someone goes that into detail on Reddit, it's game over for whatever team they were going against.
Right, and the more extreme, the more extreme it is, the more you know it's going to hit. Like if it just has to be like if it's just like damn, God damn it, you got me. Like if LSU is 14-0. In the last 100 years on October 30th, and they're playing October 30th, you know what's going to happen every single time.
Yeah, it
doesn't matter who.
And you're not going to be like, oh, what if this time? What if this time they don't win on October 30th?
No,
you lose.
They're going to.
They're going to win. That's how that works. That's how that works.
It's absolutely. So
And Vegas
we gotta dig.
Vegas shifts the line to where it's like, oh shit, maybe they won't. Maybe they won't win. Maybe they won't get the spread or something like that. They Vegas always knows. That's also an unwritten commandment. Vegas is all knowing.
Right.
All right, yeah. So number 8, we're getting down to the bottom. Thou shalt not bet against a college football team wearing the same color as every person in attendance.
Yeah, this was one of my major additions. I'm a huge believer in this. College football is all about energy. I truly believe this. I sound like some like California New Age hippie podcaster guy.
To be fair, it's different this year, but like every other year.
Right. Yeah, no, this year. But it's college football, you literally can feel the cover or you can feel the win. If you follow this shit long enough, I swear to God, I don't know how to describe it, but as you gave 2 perfect examples, Iowa, blackout against Minnesota. They won. They covered last year against all odds. They threw on the Iowa
Against all odds, literally against all odds.
Iowa typically wears the Steeler uniforms, black helmet, black jerseys, yellow pants at home. They declared it a blackout. Everybody wore black. They switched the gold pants to black pants. That's unstoppable.
It was the game day decision to do that.
Game
right?
day. It was like Friday and the game was Saturday. More classic example, Penn State whiteout. Don't bet against Penn State.
And you know what's funny with both of those? Didn't I bet against both teams?
Well, yeah. Well, the Penn State was an away game, but not that you bet against or you bet Penn State. Wait.
I did. No. I bet Penn State whiteout home.
Who? When? I don't know what you're talking about.
This year.
Uh,
And then I bet against Iowa, remember? Because you had changed your bet, and I was like, I'm going to stick with my guns.
right.
And then Iowa ended up winning, and I was like, fuck.
Right.
And then Penn State later on, I'm pretty sure I bet against them whenever they had their whiteout, and then I lost that bet. So I'm 0-2 against teams wearing the same color as the
You got it?
crowd. Yeah, it's hard to get out on the podcast. It's a mouthful. It was a mouthful. 6 beers deep is a lot for me to pull that one out of the bag.
Right. Like I said, yeah, college football is about energy. It's all about passion, pride, shit like that. And
unless you're WVU.
Unless you're WVU, but we won't get into that.
Okay, yeah. We don't get into
one.
that. But I'm not saying you bet on the team that's wearing the jersey as the same as the crowd. I'm saying you don't bet against that team.
Bet against that team.
Don't bet on that team. I'm not saying bet on that game. Just don't bet on that game. I'd rather you not bet on the game than
be very careful.
Yeah. And if you are going to bet on the team wearing the same color as the audience.
Right. Even if it looks juicy, if it's like Michigan +8.
And that's why you always have to pay attention to college.
Right.
That's why that whole the one a couple yeah. All right, so let's go to 9. Thou shalt not spend their entire bank accounts on sports betting.
She agrees.
That's
her pick of the episode.
That's her pick.
She picks a take that she likes.
Yeah. Right. She goes crazy. I'm not kidding.
Would you like to do the continued? Because I like a lot the little blurb on the end. This is a good way to judge it.
I mean, what do you mean?
1/10.
Oh, are you talking about the continuation?
Yes, motherfucker.
Okay, so
Just
sorry, I'm
read it.
drunk.
Jesus
I'm drunk.
fucking Christ.
I'm drunk. All right, so basically, when I'm talking, thou shalt not spend their entire bank account sports betting. I'm basically, for example, you want to spend around a tenth of your of what you spend on groceries per month on sports betting, where allocating those funds to your sports betting bank account,
Right.
a tenth of your groceries per month, which depending on who you are, I'm spending, anywhere from like, I'm not going to tell you how much I spend on groceries, but I spend a good bit on groceries. So you want to take a tenth of that. It could be different for you. It could be different. I don't know how
No, I
you're.
think it's a good. I think that's a perfect way to sum it up. I do that. I do exactly that without even knowing it. So you taught me something, actually.
Yeah, the groceries, you gotta get your priorities straight. This is exactly why I don't just throw money into sports betting. I haven't put any money into sports betting. In that way, whenever I do have the chance, I'm like, hey, I haven't put money in a while. I've spent a lot of money on groceries. Maybe it's time to throw some money at sports betting.
Right. And this is the beauty of having when we talk about the DraftKings account, right? Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you build your account. You don't put $20 in and bet the whole 20 on a 5-game slate over NFL weekend.
You
You
put
bet,
$1 or
you put
75 cents.
right. Exactly. You put $20 in, you make 50-cent bets all weekend.
Do you remember how long it took? Okay, so I got to tell everybody about my feat again because it's a remarkable feat of what I did. But the $20 I put in, the whole first week, I made so many bets that were 75 cent to $1 bets. I wasn't making $5 bets. I wasn't making $10 bets. I was trying to do it smart. Within 4 weeks, I had $210 on my account.
Right.
Within 6 weeks, I had $400 on my account. And then within 2 months, I had 1,000. It was like 890 whatever, and then I tried to go over, and it happens when you go over. But that's exactly what can happen if you do sports betting the right way. You can take that account all the way to the fucking moon if you want to, if you do it the right way.
There you go. Exactly.
Okay.
That's
$20.
very important. Very important to keep that in mind. You don't bet your whole account on any one weekend or something.
Exactly.
Next.
And then we are going to roll to the golden rule of the Nice Guys podcast betting Bible. It is the
overarching over all of this.
overall.
This is the God of the commandments. This is the OP commandment.
This works with every single fucking commandment. And this works with every single bet you ever do.
If you listen to anything we said
This
today,
works in life.
please listen to this one thing. This is the best piece of advice that we can ever give you. Always keep this in mind. Noah, go.
Commandment 10. The golden rule of the Nice Guys podcast sports Bible. We are going to go with thou shalt not be a dumbass.
And am I wrong? Don't be a dumbass.
Don't be a dumbass.
Everybody's an idiot sometimes.
You're not going to pick the Jets to win a game.
But don't be a dumbass. If you think you're too smart for Vegas and you're like, oh, the Jets are going to cover. The Giants aren't going to win the game against the Seahawks, but they're going to cover. You're being a dumbass.
I want to let the listeners know how Vegas makes their spreads and shit. They have a computer under Vegas. This is true story. They have a computer under Vegas. This computer, listen. This is the Vegas computer. He has a name. I don't know his name, but he actually has the name. There's a computer under Vegas that makes 50,000 different outcomes for each different game. And this computer that Vegas has, using all their statistics and their whole database, 50,000 outcomes, they make all those outcomes, and that's how they make the spreads. And then they have humans, move the lines a little bit up and down depending on how people are betting. They don't move too much, but they always move a little bit, and that's the humans doing it. They have that computer. You're not going to beat a fucking computer unless you have 100,000 outcomes. I'm just saying a normal person isn't doing that, and most people that are doing it professionally aren't doing that as well. So I'm just saying, just don't be a dumbass when it
Right.
comes to it.
And you'll know. It sounds broad right now as we're saying it to you, but really look inside yourself before placing a bet. You'll know. You'll know.
If you have to think about it and you have to go, oh shit, like what if? Anytime you ever say what if, you don't need to bet it. That's exactly how it is. You don't need to even, like, every single one you need to be like, oh, I don't even need to think about this.
And sorry, if you wanted to keep talking about this one, I kind of want to get into the bets of the week because for me, my bets this week are perfect examples of this rule.
Well, this is exactly why I did want to get into it right here, and that's why I wanted to do the commandments first.
Right.
We're going to hop into the bets of the week right now.
Okay.
Christian, just give me one right ahead. Just hop in.
This to me is a no-brainer. Maybe not at first glance, but after these statistics, you can't say no to this. Noah, sorry to do this to you. Ravens -8 against the Philadelphia Eagles. I know I said earlier in this episode 8 sounds like a big spread in the NFL. The Ravens can pop off. Their offense, they have blown plenty of teams maybe better than the Eagles out this year.
They're all better than the Eagles.
Philly is 1-4 against the spread this year. Their only cover was last week against the Steelers. The Ravens are 3-1-1 against the spread this year. And the Ravens have covered in 6 of their last 7 road games. Sorry, but the numbers don't lie. Ravens -8 is a smash.
All right. I totally agree. It's kind of hard to disagree when it comes to betting against the Eagles right now. The Eagles being my team, I know how shit they are. They're absolutely ass, and you don't ever bet on them, and you definitely bet against them at this point. I think taking an 8-point spread against them on a team like the Ravens, who is electric on offense and defensively has the ability to stop the run. I know they haven't been too good against the run this year, but they have a couple guys that can play the run really well. I just don't think Eagles have enough firepower to keep up with the Ravens. I could see it being a 10 to 14 point difference. That's why the 8-point spread is definitely something you could bet on.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Ravens will score 30 plus, and who knows if the Eagles can get on the board really.
And that's exactly kind of where it comes to my next one, or my first one. I'm going to go in the Bears and Panthers game. The Bears, the line in this game, Panthers are favored by 1.5 points. It started at 3-point favorites for the Panthers for some reason. As you can see, it's moved down 1.5 points, which is really hard for Vegas to do. Vegas never moves it down that much, so they're obviously must mean there's something in this.
Big move.
So the Panthers are one of the worst run defenses in the whole league. And yeah, you could say, oh, the Bears only have David Montgomery. But this is one of my favorite David Montgomery stats of them all. And this is where people are forgetting the impact he's had on this Bears team the past couple weeks. With Tariq Cohen out, David Montgomery's seen a lot of air time. He has 10 receptions for 60 yards. He also has 2 touchdowns on the last 2 weeks. He saw 7 receptions last week for 30 yards. They're starting to get him involved in the passing game, and with their explosive offense, Anthony Miller, Allen Robinson at wide receiver, you're going to see the offense basically open up on this Panthers defense. And these are the type of bets when I talk about you have to take. Panthers are okay. You can say what you want to fucking say about the fucking Panthers, but there's no way this is the type of team, there's no way this team should be winning as much as they are, or at least putting up, enough points the way they're putting up points. There's no way they should be doing that right now. This is exactly why we like this versus the Panthers. Bears are a pretty good run defense. That's kind of where the Panthers are starting to open up their whole team. It's through the run with whatever the fuck his name is, Mike Davis or whatever the fuck. I don't know who. McCaffrey back up. So I think this offense could just open up the whole plan. I'm taking Bears here at 1.5 point underdogs. And it's because Vegas is also changing their odds on us.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I like it. I don't know if I would put my name on it, but I like it.
Hey, I'm 0-6 and I'm ambitious, baby. That's exactly. I'm 0-6 and I'm going to look to go 0-7 with that one. That's exactly what we're going for.
Keep betting on Noah. Eventually, he's going to win.
Eventually, I'm going to go 3-3, exactly how I started this season. So
yeah.
All right, Christian.
My next one is, so I don't know how to phrase this. I wrote down, I personally bet this game earlier in the week. It's moved quite some since I bet it. In fact, it's the underdog has turned into the favorite. I'm talking about Green Bay +2 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I bet it +2. It's now at -1 Packers. I think the Packers are going to win by more than a field goal. So whatever you bet in this, it's fine. Packers offense keeps rolling. I'm basically just going to repeat myself from like the 2 or 3 fucking other times that I bet the Packers. Their offense is godly. Top 5 in every offensive category. Davante Adams is back. They're fully loaded, and they're going to unload on the Buccaneers.
Packers at +1.
I bet Packers +2.
Oh, +2. I guess we'll talk about the Packers later too. But yeah.
Now they're -1.
Yeah, so you'll go Packers +2 at year 2. I love that. I mean, you can't get any better than that. I mean, you kind of said it all. I mean, Packers are pretty explosive, so it's just kind of hard to bet. I mean, Buccaneers have a pretty good run defense, but that's not exactly what you're looking for in this type of game.
No, so, they're going to air it out. Yeah, Aaron Jones will get 100 passing.
Yeah, facts. Like Aaron Jones, isn't affected by the Buccaneers' good run defense.
Right, doesn't matter. Yeah. They'll just throw it all game.
Exactly. And I think this is heading into probably my favorite bet of the whole week. I'm not saying it's the one you should bet on or shouldn't, but it's the Tits versus the Tex. Titans versus Texans. Titans are entering the game, 3-point favorites. Titans are undefeated for a reason, and the Texans are 1-4 for a reason. Titans are an excellent coach team. The Texans aren't an excellent coach team. We thought the Texans just had a hard schedule to start the season, going against the Chiefs, Ravens, Steelers. But then they lost to the Vikings right after that. Yeah, they beat the Jags, but in this situation, beating the Jags isn't going to help you. Titans are coached by a great coach. This is commandment number 10 for me. Don't be a fucking dumbass in this situation. You have to bet a team like the Titans. in this situation. The Texans aren't a good football team. The Titans, whenever they can either run all over you or pass it down your throat, especially with A.J. Brown coming back. Corey Davis should probably not have coronavirus by this point, so he'll be back too. But it doesn't matter when you have A.J. Brown. So either way, Corey Davis, A.J. Brown, it doesn't fucking matter. Titans are going to fucking win this game. We take these.
Yeah. My final one is going to be maybe one of our unwritten commandments, unwritten rules, something recent I've been doing, and it's been paying off a lot.
An amendment?
Huh?
Nice Guys Bible podcast, Bet Bible amendment.
Amendment, right. Well, yeah, we're going to amend the Bible-tution. I have over 44.5 total points, Browns Steelers this weekend. Bet the over in the Steelers-Eagles game last week. I think a lot of people I heard calling the under on this game. I saw a lot of that. I saw them saying that both defenses would sort of slow each other down, that the blah, blah, blah. I'm rolling with this. We're rolling with betting the over when the total is under 45 points in the NFL, in an NFL game. These are two of the highest scoring offenses in the NFL. They're both top 10. They both average around 30 points per game. The Browns offense has been going insane. The tail of the game is going to be what the Steelers defense does against the Browns offense. But I think the Browns are going to put up some points. I think the Steelers are as well. And with the total that low, come on.
It's hard to pass up on.
Both teams have to score 22 points.
Yeah, both teams are going to score over 22 points, and I'm pretty convinced of that, especially the way the Browns have been playing recently. And then you have the Steelers on the other hand, too. I don't expect Claypool to get as many touches as everybody thinks he's going to get, because that's fucking hilarious. But when it comes to the rest of the team, I mean, they're still pretty good. And it looks like James Conner is fully healthy, too. So that's a good pick. With my last one, and you could have guessed this, who do you think it is?
Packers.
Well, it's going to be the Cardinals. Cardinals versus Cowboys. Cardinals are 1.5-point favorites. I mean, everybody saw the Dak Prescott injury last week. Although I don't think it has that much impact on the performance for the Cowboys this week. I'm just not going to stop voting or betting, well, voting too, against the Cardinals. Kyler is electric. Hop is disgusting. The rest of the whole offense is, I'm not even going to use the R word, but they are a dirty word. They're rapage. I expect them to win this game. And if they don't, fuck it, like they won't win the game. But Dallas has lost to every decent team that they've played. They've lost to every single decent team that they played. Name one good win. You can't name a single good win. I don't expect them to win this game. And like I said at the beginning of the season and saying today, I will say it every week. I will not bet against a team like the Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, this is good in terms of following your strategy of betting the Cardinals every single week, and it will pay off. In theory, with like the offense, like the team that the Cowboys have, I wouldn't want to endorse this as well because I think Andy Dalton can make some noise. I think maybe maybe Andy Dalton is going to do like a little miniature turnaround for the Cowboys. Like he's obviously he's not better than Dak, but I feel like he's going to start winning some games and people will be like, ooh, Andy Dalton starter for the Cowboys.
I mean, I agree.
It starts with this game.
I don't think Andy Dalton is bad, but like, look at the teams they've lost to. They've lost to the Rams, the
Dak
Seahawks,
was quarterback.
the Browns.
Dak was quarterback. Keep going.
Okay, but
Keep
Dak
going.
was quarterback. I'm saying that's the point. Dak is the quarterback, and you're losing to the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Browns. And then you beat the Falcons by 1.
Dak was the quarterback.
You beat the Falcons by 1, and you beat the Giants by 3.
Dak was the quarterback.
So you've won by a combined of 4 points.
Okay, so Dak was the quarterback for all those games. Now say who they're playing this week.
Dak was also not the quarterback for the whole time.
Who are they playing this week? Say it.
The Cardinals.
And Andy Dalton is the quarterback, and that's why I'll go with the Cowboys. Thank you very much.
Well, if you know anything about Andy Dalton, he's not a winner. He's a stat guy, but he's not a winner. Let's just say that.
What's the playoffs?
He did. Congrats, Andy Dalton. Red Rifle. I'll bet on you a couple games, but I'm not going to bet on you this game. I'll probably bet on you next week versus football team, the next week versus the Eagles, and I'll bet against you versus the Steelers. So, I'll have you 2-2 the next 4 games.
Steelers.
They play Steelers 4 games from now. Cowboys suck for the most part. They could still win I thought they were going to be sweet at the beginning of this year, and as I said in that preview episode, but yeah. To get in our bet of the week, you kind of already hit on it.
I already said it, literally.
You already said it, but it changed a little bit from the line that I have right here.
All right.
We have Packers, Buccaneers. Packers 1-point favorites. You have
whatever the Packers are on your site, bet it.
Well, Packers 1-point favorites. You're betting the money line essentially. They're explosive offense, and they're coming off a bye. And Devontae Adams should be healthy.
Best position to win the game. This is the no-brainer type shit.
This is the type of shit that we're talking about. Don't be a dumbass. There's a reason the lines shift. There's a reason the lines go from 2.5-point underdogs to 1-point favorites. No team goes from underdogs to favorites. Like, that's not a thing that happens. And then in this situation, it does. So,
fair enough.
I just need you to bet that. We're going to go 4-1 this week.
Don't say that out loud.
I have good luck. I have a apostrophe in my name.
Knock on wood. I hope that about does it because I need to go to the bathroom.
I need to fucking piss too. I'm about 4 16-ounces.
Okay.
I haven't pissed. So.
This has been an episode of the Nice Guys Podcast, and we have to go pee-pee, so we'll see you later.
We have to pee-pee.
Bye.
Bye.